For years, Ottawa's approach to Indian security concerns was marked by deflection. Recently, however, the Canadian government adjusted its national security posture, realigning how it handles foreign sensitivities on its own soil. The evidence of this change is located on the Canadian government's website. The Canadian Security Intelligence Service, or CSIS, published a declassified public report that addresses issues previously avoided in official public discourse. This report introduces a specific threat classification, CBKE, or Canada-Based Khalistani Extremists. Intelligence explicitly uses the term extremists to define them, linking them to the 1985 bombing of Air India Flight 182. That attack killed 329 people, and CSIS flags CBKE members as primary suspects. The document outlines a specific operational concern: the exploitation of Canadian institutions to raise money from citizens who believe they're donating to charitable causes. These funds are being diverted toward violent activities. The report claims that while the money is collected in Canada, it is being used to plan and execute violence, primarily in India. This intelligence pivot aligns with a broader shift in Canada's international priorities, following the emergence of a new multi-billion-dollar incentive. That incentive is a $24 billion uranium deal recently signed between India and Canada. The physical scale of this resource extraction reflects the massive economic weight now behind the bilateral relationship. This is part of a 10-year strategic plan for Canada to become a primary energy provider for the Indian subcontinent. The uranium deal is the anchor for a larger trade target. Both nations have set a goal to increase total bilateral trade to $50 billion. As these economic ties deepen, the Canadian government has become increasingly vocal about the security threats India has long complained about. Protecting a $24 billion energy partnership necessitates a closer alignment on shared security risks. When multi-billion-dollar contracts are at stake, economic interests can dictate the boundaries of domestic security policy. To maintain this partnership, Canadian intelligence is moving to disrupt the financial networks identified in the CSIS report. However, the government must also navigate its own domestic legal framework. To do this, the report establishes a very specific legal distinction. This flowchart illustrates the new filtering process. CSIS maintains that peaceful advocacy for a separate state is permitted, but funding that is intercepted on its way to violent activity is now a primary target for intervention. This allows intelligence agencies to target the financial resources of extremist cells without infringing on the broader rights of peaceful political movements. It is a precise legal mechanism designed to address India's security demands while preserving Canada's domestic political stability. Yet, despite this coordination, diplomatic friction remains. The same report still lists India alongside states like China and Russia when discussing the broader issue of foreign interference. It also maintains the official Canadian position regarding the 2023 killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, signaling that Ottawa is not yet ready for a full diplomatic reset. However, the report highlights a much larger challenge: systemic data theft from Chinese intelligence. This visualization represents the scale of cyber espionage Canada faces daily. In one specific tactic, Chinese agents use fake job advertisements on mainstream websites to recruit Canadians who may have access to proprietary or classified information. While the Chinese threat is broad and systemic, the friction with India is concentrated on the single issue of CBKE activity. Given the 10-year energy outlook, leadership in Ottawa is increasingly prioritizing economic pragmatism. Increased intelligence sharing between the two nations is becoming a functional necessity. In global relations, economic alignment often dictates the terms of security cooperation. As trade targets grow toward $50 billion, the shift in how Canada handles these extremist groups reflects a transition from political debate to resource-driven necessity.